Welcome to the Divorce Whisperer. We're so happy you're joining us here today on this Friday. I'm your host, Marta Papa, and we're going to be talking for about a half an hour with a special guest today. We do this the first and third Friday of every month at 1 p.m. live from the Divorce Whisperer Facebook page. So we can try and demystify divorce for people facing divorce. So what I do is I invite a divorce expert from some kind of role in a divorce and ask them the following question. I ask them, if you could give only one piece of advice to somebody you really care about and are really concerned about divorce, but only one piece, what would that piece be? And then we use that piece of advice and spin it out farther than there, let them talk more about their advice. So we have people on the show who they might be lawyers, but I don't think I've had a lawyer yet, actually. There are other people that you might need in your tribe around you as you get divorced, besides your lawyer. Your lawyer knows law. Your lawyer doesn't know emotion and children and conflict resolution, and your lawyer knows divorce law. And so you need more information than what the divorce statute for your state says. And it's up to you to get it. So we're trying to give you resources where you can get that information. And if you like today's broadcast, or you think you know someone else that might be well served by this, the advice that Michelle Gambs is going to give us today, we will be put up on my YouTube channel, the Divorce Whisperer YouTube channel, and you can see all the different interviews that I've done on the first and third Friday. I don't know, I think we're like 12 or 13 now. You can see those, and they're labeled by the expert. They're also labeled by the topic. So you can pass this information along to someone who's hurting, that you think this might help them through the struggle where they are. So this isn't the only time you can see it. Check out our YouTube video of it. It'll be posted later today. But today I'm so excited to get started because I have a wonderful, delightful person on, Michelle Gambs. She's coming from Indiana. And let me look at her resume. Hang on a second. From Indiana. She is a parent coach and has great parent coaching ideas and parenting ideas, coaches you on how to handle kids during this transition and after this transition. And she's a psychotherapist with a degree from the University of Notre Dame. So she is well bred. She also wrote a book that I have read, Stay Away from Option D. It is awesome. I'm sure it's on Amazon.com. And when I read it, and you can tell I read it, I have little sticky notes on pages that I think they're the best. And when I read it, I thought, where was this when I was parenting? And where was this when my mother was parenting? My mother needed it. Hopefully I was a better mother than mine, and my mother was a better mother than hers. So through the generations, where was this? Because it's just awesome. It gives very practical ideas of what to do when children are fighting and bickering or rebelling or whatever they're doing. And it's like, do 1, 2, 3, try not to do number 4. So I love that it gives options of, here's the best thing you could do, but if you can't bring yourself to do that, here's something else, and if you can't bring yourself, this is the third choice, but don't do the 4th choice. And so I love that it gives options. Mediators do options. That's what we do. Well, when my staff says, let's go to lunch, I'm like, okay, well, where are we going to go? Well, I don't make one person decide. I'm like, well, let's put 4 choices on the table. Capitol Grill, Cheesecake Factory, we put 4 choices. Now if everybody voted for one, what would it be? And then we have it and nobody has to decide it. So mediators are just about options, 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 till everybody can agree on that option. Now you got the total resolution in front of you. And that's exactly what she does in this book that says, stay away from option D. And she gives you option A, B, and C. And then she tells you D, don't do that. So it gives you some flexibility. So I couldn't suggest that book enough. In fact, we were talking before this broadcast started, and I said, I teach mediation for several state Supreme Courts to judges, lawyers, and mental health professionals. And I'm going to make this mandatory reading for them, because this is like a book on mediation, how to mediate, but it's like how to mediate with your children and office workers and spouse. So I won't go through the rest of her resume. Just know that she is a parent coach, and I wish she was in St. Louis so I could have the judge mandatorily refer people to her. So let me welcome you, so you can say hi, Michelle Gambs.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. And let's start with that question that I ask at the very beginning of every guest.
Mhm.
If you could give one piece of advice to someone that you really care about divorce, what would that be?
Well, I have some intimacy with this because I went through this 6 years ago. So 21-year marriage. And so when you ask me that question, I have to think as among which part, because I'm as a woman, as a mom, as a therapist. So I've got all those angles. Is when I reflect
on from each of those angles. I think that'd be awesome.
Okay. So as a woman, that it's a really harrowing journey. I just have to say, because you've been with this partner, it's emotional, and I was with my partner for 25 years, and so we grew up together. So it's emotional, and a divorce is not. It's business-like. Like the divorce process is business-like, and there's such heartbreak in the whole journey, but it's not in this piece of it with the legal system. They don't care. Like, that's not what it's about. It's just about keep it business-like and keep it that as much neutrality as you can find in just the responses and the written stuff and the communication, and try to extract the emotion out of it, because that's all you feel and you want to be validated, but this isn't the place. You need therapists for that, or friends, and all that. So
great point. I couldn't agree more.
Okay. Then as a mom, I would say your kids first and foremost need to see healthy. They need healthy to be modeled with yourself, like what it means to be healthy, what it means in a relationship to be healthy, and so they need that modeling. And so just know you're doing really good for your kids by taking care of yourself. That's a really good thing. The whole put the oxygen mask on yourself first before helping your children, because you're of no use to them. And so moms are very much wired that you're supposed to be selfless and give to your kids. I'm like, I'll just flat out tell you, stop. Like, help yourself, because when you do that, you're helping your kids indirectly, because they need to see, and they need a healthy parent. So that's a gift. Do the things that you need to do to deposit into yourself to help yourself. That's helping your kids. And by the way, one of my favorite quotes about parenting reflects this, which is, who you are speaks so loudly that I can't hear anything that you're saying.
Can I have you say that one more time and a little more slowly, because I want everybody to get that, because it's awesome.
So I have these cute little cards, okay, and it's on the back. Look at this.
Oh, I got to get some of those. I got to get me some of those.
So it's on the back of my card. It's, who you are speaks so loudly that I can't hear anything that you're saying.
And tell me what that means to you.
Ralph Waldo Emerson. I didn't come up with it. So anyway, because it's basically your children are looking at what you're doing, not what you're saying. So if you're modeling, taking care of yourself, then that gives them permission to do so, and not, keep giving themselves away or whatever. So They're watching what you're doing, not what you're saying. So do the things, be healthy with all of that, because they need to see that. And then my third piece, because I'm a therapist, and by the way, I do have clients all around the country, FYI, Marta. People,
Oh, good.
I do virtually.
Good.
Oh, I do
Good.
virtually. So anyway, as a therapist, and especially as a parent coach, I do that. But as a therapist, to answer your question, is you're going to need time to heal, and it's going to take longer than you think. And I mean, maybe you tell your clients this too, but when you're going through hell,
Yeah.
you don't want to make major decisions, like, at least, I mean, I would kind of say like 2 years, because the thing is, you think you're okay.
Yeah.
You're not okay. You're not okay. You're not. And you're doing the best you can. You're doing the best you can. But like, just don't, make the major things, because you'll look back and you'll go, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
And you could, I'm just saying, try to reserve, because you're going through enough change that's big. So just don't make other big if you can, and take the time it takes and forgive yourself, because you're going through some change. So those are my answers for your sweet question.
Could not agree more. Could
Okay.
not agree. Can we go back to the first one and talk about it a little bit more?
Sure.
So I love that you break it down, because we all wear so many hats.
Yeah.
And during one day, we'll wear 4 or 5 hats or more just in one day.
Yeah.
So when somebody asks me a question, I think, are they asking me as a lawyer? Or are they asking me as a mom? Or are they asking me as a friend? Because the answer is going to be different, right?
Yeah, right.
Because they expect something different from me. If it's as a friend, they expect me to put my arm around them. As a lawyer, if I put my arm around them, they would be like, what are you doing? Like harassment, run out the door. So I have to think what hat I have on when people ask me questions. So I love that you differentiate, if you ask me that question and I'm in this mode, here's my answer, and it's different. They aren't contradictory, but there's a different emphasis and a different, maybe a different modality that you would say it in. You'd say it fast, you'd say it kidding, you'd say it very seriously, you put your glasses on, you take your glasses off. They aren't contradictory, but they just may be a different mood or modality.
Sure.
So as a woman, I'm divorced 25 years after a 15-year marriage.
Okay.
And so to a lawyer,
Yeah.
I like to always throw that in.
Yeah.
So another, sort of narcissistic, ego-centered, So you put in business-like, even though you're emotional. Wow. Cannot agree with that more. I experienced it myself. I see my clients experiencing it. It's not just a woman thing, it's a man thing. I have one client who has a dog. He calls the dog Buddy. He's a big Labrador. And he takes 2.5-hour walks after work every day with that dog. That dog must be exhausted. But that's how long it takes him to calm himself down enough to go into the house without his wife there. She fell for the Pilates instructor or the weightlifter at the gym, left him after 30 years. And he just can't get over it, man. And he can't go into the house without her. So he's got to take the dog for a really long walk and think. He's lost a ton of weight. Because it is so emotional. And then when that piece of paper comes and claims that you did this and you did that and you spent money on this, you're like, how can you say that about me? We have seen each other in the most intimate ways and places and times, and child giving, but how can you have this emotionless legalese piece of paper in front of me and expect me to sign it or answer it? So the law is so stark and emotionless compared to how much emotion. You're just like an emotional rag at the time. And it seems like, how can you be so uncaring? Well, the lawyer wrote that, and the lawyer doesn't care about you. And the Supreme Court wrote that, and they don't care about you. They're just stating the law. So that is very difficult to get past. And I can't suggest a better answer than this is a business. And I sometimes say the court, we are almost out of time, can't believe it. The court sees marriage as a financial partnership, not a loving, nurturing partnership, a financial partnership. And when you get divorced, all you're doing is undoing the financial partnership and stopping the business. You're going to register to not be a business anymore. You're dissolving that business. And so the court just decides what widgets go over here and who gets those widgets and who gets this money and what bills are you going to pay, and then on what day are you not going to be a business anymore. And so it's just like, we're going to stop selling ice cream together. Whereas when they apply those laws to a marriage, it's like, this is not a business, this is an emotional connection. Quit talking about it like it's a business.
Yeah.
So let me go faster because we don't have much time. As a mom, healthy needs to be modeled. Cannot agree with you more. I have clients that go to the corner, curl up in a fetal position and say, take care of me, I can't take care of myself. And it's totally understandable.
Yeah.
But that puts all the burden on the children to run the household, to make meals, to get to school. And they may say, well, if mom can do it, I can do it. I'm just not going to get out of bed today.
Right.
So it kind of gives them permission to give up if mom or dad goes to the corner and says, I'm just not going to live anymore.
Yeah.
So they're looking at you, they're watching, they're looking at you.
They are.
And then that quote, which is awesome. Who you are speaks so loudly that I can't hear you because I'm watching you.
That's right.
And they're learning from you too, how to be brave and how to get through adversity.
Yeah,
They're
you're right.
learning that from you.
Yeah. And just that you're allowed to have all those feelings too. It's and they're all there. I mean, it's not an either or, it's an and. It's all there. You feel all these feelings and you're grieving and you're in a loss, and that's going to take some time. It's going to take the time it takes.
Yep.
It's going to take the time and they're watching you. Like, so, and kids are actually motivating for parents to get their act together.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's good for children to see that mom or dad might need somebody else to talk to about this, or some outlet, golf, rowing, yoga, I don't know, some healthy outlet, because that teaches kids they need a healthy outlet also.
Exactly.
So again, they're modeling you.
They are. They're watching.
And then your last one was, as a therapist, it takes time to heal. Yes. I took like a divorce care course. I think it was 12 weeks or something like that. And we got through the book and we met once a week. And I thought, okay, I should be done, right? Like, we finished the book. I went to the class and okay, it's done. You get your paper back and you move on to the next class. Oh no. And I can remember going to the therapist and saying, it's been 2 years and I'm not done yet. And you said 2 years. I'm still not done. What's wrong with me? Well, you get done in layers. It's like layers off of the onion, and it happens over time, and you find something else to throw yourself into, to put your attention on. I gardened, and I had never gardened before. And I made an English tea garden in my backyard with a big lion fountain and pathways. And I shoveled, and it was hard work. And that was my release. That was how I handled the weekends that I didn't have my daughter, because I didn't want to get out of bed. On the weekends I didn't have my daughter, we did every other weekend. I'm stuck getting up. I'm going to stay in bed for 48 hours. I knew I had to get up. So, okay, what's my dream? I always wanted to have an English tea garden with a big lion fountain. Okay, I'm going to make it happen. Spent every last penny on it. My financial planner said, why are you spending this money on a house where you're going to leave? I'm like, well, I could spend it on alcohol or recreational drugs or something else. All right. But you know what? It makes me get into it and plan it. And I stopped thinking about that. And that
was your therapy. That was your therapy. Part of
it really was.
Yeah.
It's
cathartic. It's cathartic. Yeah.
Do you think I want an English garden now? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. I hire a gardener to go take care of it, right? I don't want to take care of those roses.
Yeah,
You do
that's
it,
high
right?
maintenance.
So,
Yeah.
so I know it was only because of where I was emotionally, and I needed something to throw myself into. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Understood. Good for you.
Great.
Yeah. And I coach clients too, if going through those things, when you bring up alcohol, like because I've been doing this, I've been in practice for, I don't know, 21 years or something. But when people are going through this, I'm like, just so you know, you don't want to come out of this with another problem. You know,
Bingo.
you don't want to come out of this with another problem. So just watch that
Yeah.
piece, and so because I'd been saying that so much myself, like when I went through it, I was like, I didn't have a glass of wine. Like I did not have, because I'm like, I know that this is, no way. I'm not coming out with bigger problems.
Right. That's so true.
Hmm.
That's what whatever your outlet is. And it may just be talking to somebody. And when your kids see you talking to somebody else, they feel like might be able to talk to somebody from church or somebody from school or a
Yeah.
therapist or a
Yeah.
teacher or a school
Right.
counselor. It
Yeah.
gives them permission. I think it gives them permission.
Yeah.
It gives them permission to talk to somebody else besides you. They
Yeah.
don't want to talk to a parent. They don't want to hurt that parent's feelings. They don't want to let on that they're hurting. They don't want to hear what that parent has to say about that. And parents say, oh, get over it, brush yourself off, move on. They don't want to hear that. And
No.
so they'll be much more open with somebody else for
Yeah.
a while. Maybe the parent eventually, maybe not, but they need to talk about it. They need to
Yeah.
talk
So
about it.
I
So
I
give you
love,
permission.
yeah, absolutely, permission, and you're modeling that is what you're doing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. As far as the kids go, and that, I'd like to just sort of share that
Yeah.
as a therapist, I'm kind, because people would say for me years, clients would say, I want you to see my kid, and I'd say, I need to see y'all, or people would call me, I want you to see my 5-year-old, my 7-year-old. I go, I need to see you. And so come in, and then I'd never see the child, because there's so much that the parent can do to impact every day what's going on with that small child. Okay. And before we talked about the YouTube videos that I have on YouTube. There's one that is, what is the dumbest question that we ask our children?
Oh, I watched that. I loved it.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
The dumbest question that we parents ask our children: why?
I
Why?
loved it. And
Why?
I didn't know what the answer was till I watched the YouTube video.
Yeah, why did you say that? Why did you do that? And they don't know why. So stop asking them questions that they can't answer. They don't know why. So small children are just acting out their needs, and it's up to us to get our own like skill set raised so we can understand the needs. And I could talk about those quickly. It's belonging, love, power, special valued and important, experimentation, exploration. I know I don't have that much time, but when you look at them through that lens, then you go, oh, okay, now I can help that instead of a therapist. Now, let me say that's small children, because they don't know why. I tell parents of teenagers, which I see teenagers now and I love them, but I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole until I got through my own. No, I was like, oh, no way. I was on my knees with my own. Yeah. And so now I see teenagers all the time. I'm like, bring it on, because every teenager needs help.
Yeah.
Every teenager needs help. Not
Rite of passage.
whether they're going through a divorce or not. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you general advice. Like,
Yeah.
if a small child is in quote therapy, it needs to be play therapy, because they don't know why they're doing what they're doing. But or I prefer to raise the parents' awareness and help them with strategies and tools so that they can manage that kid every day, not with somebody that they don't know once a week. But teenagers, like, 11 on, they all need help. And the reason they need help is because peers get promoted and parents get demoted. So they don't want to talk to us so much anymore. And they're looking and listening to their peers, and nobody knows what they're doing of these peers. And so they're all, and in the meantime, there's this fifth need of experimentation, exploration. And that's really innocent and benign when they're little and they're going and checking out the puddle and the outlet and whatever else. It's not so benign when they're teenagers, and the experimentation, exploration can be life altering, and parents are all holding their breath. And so I don't mean every kid needs a therapist, but every teenager needs help. So whether that's teachers, coaches, aunts, uncles, friends, therapists, anybody, they all need help. And so I'm just telling you, that's,
Great point.
yeah.
Great point. Great point. One other thing I really liked about your book, again, stay away from option D, is the practicality of the advice that you give in there. I'm gonna mention two things. One is when you're driving a car and she calls it a weapon, which it is, especially if it's a Hummer, all right? And you could mow down a whole family in the yellow Hummer my neighbor has. So you're driving a weapon and you're responsible for everything that's going on outside of you, and responsible for obeying the laws and obeying the speed limit and looking at the crosswalks, and then there's all this other arguing going on behind you, and they want you to sort it out, and you can't pay attention to the outside and the inside, but you're responsible for everybody's safety outside and inside. So what do you do?
Oh, yeah.
So you tell me, so what do you do?
Oh yeah. So it's a simple thing, like, because your first priority is being the driver and safety first. That's your job. Your job is safety, even though you've got this madness going on in your car,
Right.
and you're like wanting to yell at them and tell, it's like, just save your energy and just pull the car, calmly breathe, pull the car over someplace safe, whether it's the shoulder or parking lot, and preferably when your kids want to get where you're going, pull it over, say nothing. Just say nothing, just breathe and calm yourself. And when they stop doing what they're doing, and then, Mom, what are we doing? I'm just waiting until this is done, because my job is to keep us safe. And I can't do that when I'm stressed and hearing all of this in here. So I'm just waiting. Are you guys done? And then you just start driving again. You start driving, and then they start, and then you pull over again, and you just take the time it takes, man. And then they'll get it that, oh, we better keep it together in here because Mom's going to pull over. Yes, she is. You just pull over, man. You don't need to manage that. You don't need to manage that. Okay.
They learn quickly, you said, when it's snowing or raining, because another thing you can do is roll down the window.
Yeah, that's what
And blow all your smoke out the window.
Yeah.
When you're done,
yeah,
all the bad things out the window.
Yeah.
Then I'll roll the window back up.
That's right. So when they were fighting or screaming, I just said, oh, clearly you need to get some things out. And so I would roll the window
out the car.
Sometimes it's snowing or raining, and they're like, Mom, turn it up. I'm like, well, are you guys done? Are you done? And then I turn it back, because I'm like, clearly you got to get it out, man. You got to get it out. I'm like, I know it doesn't win Mother of the Year, but it works.
It works, and it protects them. They learn from that, and it protects them from having an accident. I have to tell you how my mother, there were 5 of us, and I have to tell you how my mother handled it. We had a station wagon. It was before SUVs. And so she had a yardstick. And so she would whale that yardstick in the back. She didn't care which of the 5 children she hit. It was, you're all in it. And so when my brother would start acting out, I'd be like, no, I don't want to get hit, because it didn't matter who was doing anything wrong. You all got it.
Yeah, you're all casualty.
In the eye, in the ear, it didn't matter. Yeah, it was danger.
I could see why you became a lawyer. You're looking for justice, Marta.
Probably. So never did it occur to her to pull over. You know, she just beat with a stick. I don't own a yardstick to this day. I have the ones that roll out, you know, but I don't have a yardstick, and too many painful memories from that.
I understand. We all have wounds. It's okay.
So any other last, you probably have a million pieces of advice, and people can find you on your YouTube. Is your YouTube under Michelle Gambs?
Yes,
Gambs.
Yeah, Gambs, like lambs with a G.
There you go. Right.
Yeah, and then my website's the same.
And they're all free. You can watch those and what they're about, and they're free. They're just awesome, and you can and you can have fun with their book also. The kids won't know what hit them. They won't know what hit them.
It's practical. So awesome. I just want to share what this is, just briefly.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's a very simple concept that it helps parents have permission to be human, is what this is. It's permission to be human, and all you have to do is stay away from this one over here, which is harm. Okay, it's harm. Staying away from harming your children, and you have these 3 options. So the harm is yelling at, shaming, humiliating, hitting, all of that. Just stay away from that. We're doing a great bang up job. A is the textbook best case scenario. Should you have the time, resources, wherewithal, do A. We don't have that time all the time. We don't even know what they are sometimes. Well, we have to learn them, most of us. So the A's, it's like the Instagram, Facebook perfect. That ain't happening and it's not real. Sometimes you have to do that. B is the good enough option. B is the 8 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, given the context of everything that's going on, what's going on at work, how much I slept, what the other kid's doing. This is all I got is B. Great. C is do no harm. C is shut the hell up and walk away. C is just, you're 100% responsible for what you say and what you do, no matter what is happening to you. I don't care what your kid's doing. I'm still responsible. I'm responsible for what I'm saying and what I'm doing. And, when I kept my niece for a week, when they were little, I had 5 kids under 4 or 3 kids under 5, 3 kids under 5. And I got the $1.79 hook and eye for the inside of the bedroom door so I could lock myself in, because it was better for me to be in there, calming myself down, than anything I was going to say out there. That was my C. Like, do no harm. Do no harm. And then when you've regrouped, you come out. And so then when I was writing this book and I wrote all that and I explained the philosophy, and then I said, okay, you don't need to read any further. And the gal that was helping me with this, she goes, you can't say that. I go, well, yeah, I can, because I just want them to carry this concept. And then really, if you want to know what the A's are, that's what the 16 chapters are after. You want to know what the A's are? Pick a chapter and learn what the A is.
Yeah,
we don't naturally know
that's
them.
right. That's correct. I totally agree. That's my takeaway from your book. That's my takeaway. And kids are going to act out around divorce. They're going to act out around divorce, and you probably more than they've ever acted out. And so you need resources for that. You're helping yourself. And that's all new stuff, but you need resources for helping the kids too. They need to know where you're headed. They need to know what you're doing, what the new rules are. And so this is an excellent book for people getting divorced. It's an excellent book, even if you're not getting divorced, but to be on the same page with parenting. Of everybody's responsible for themselves, and that's how we're going to treat each other in this family. I got lots of ideas. I'm like, oh, I wish I'd known that back then. They're great. That would have helped me so much. Although this is also useful on adults. It's on employees, right? On adults, on neighbors, on relatives. Do no harm. You want to do harm, right? One glass of wine and you want to say, you know what, at Thanksgiving. Do no harm. Go lock yourself in the bathroom for 10 minutes till you calm down, then come out, and then don't talk to that person anymore. Go to the other side of the basement, right?
Because I'm responsible for what I say and what I do, no matter what.
That's right. And so what are my other options? What else could I do that would not harm?
And it doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be A. It doesn't have to be A. B is good enough. Good enough. Or C, just do nothing and take yourself out and go augment your resources. Take a walk, do whatever. You know. How
awesome. So to hear the rest, you're just going to have to read her book or go see her videos, which are, to get to those videos, tell us how to get to your videos and tell us how to get to you.
Oh, okay. So my website is my name, michellegambs.com, and you can get to everything through that. And I have an online course, a 4-week course. Then we meet by Zoom once a week to talk about the content of the materials.
Wow, awesome.
Yes. And then the videos, those are free 35 YouTube videos. They're much shorter, like just short content. And then this is the deeper dive. And then I'm going to start doing some webinars that are like an hour and a half through Zoom too. We'll do those. So, and then I do personal coaching, just like virtual. I have clients all around. So, and in person, obviously.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for your wisdom, your wit, your ability to share it, your fierceness to not worry about, I'm telling them something that's premiere. I'm
Yeah.
giving them permission to not be the most perfect parent.
That's right.
Thank you for being that vulnerable with us, so that we know we don't have to be perfect. It's okay as long as we're not beating them, throwing them out the window, putting them in the Mississippi River. As long as we're not doing that, you know what? It's doing pretty good.
Right. Yeah. Not
Good.
shaming, not yelling at. We're
Yeah.
trying to still not
Yeah.
do those, not
Yeah.
just the physical, but yeah.
And some people put the bar so high that if they can't reach the bar, then throw the kids out with the trash.
Yeah. No.
And so no, you might be able to hit that bar, but you can also have it lower and lower, and it's still not throwing the kids out with the
No,
trash.
it's still great parenting, and it's human.
Right. It's human and humane. It's awesome.
Thank you for having me so much.
Thank you so much. And if you want to check out her stuff, she's told you how to do it, and you can watch this again on Ask the Divorce Whisper YouTube. So thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and I can't remember who we're going to be, but watch our social media, and we'll be advertising who I'm going to be interviewing next 2 weeks from now. Till then, God bless. Have a safe time with your family and friends. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Bye.